Hello, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam, and we are back again with another one. Liverpool goes 12 points on top of the league. 4 games left. If they win the next 4 games, they're just 1 point away from actually being crowned as the Premier League champions of 2024-2025. We are in the running, people, where of course the last games to finish up the title, to literally wrap everything up, and Liverpool start the running in style. Really, it was really important to show that level of work ethic we saw from the team, work so hard. And it was a Merseyside derby. The last derby that Liverpool played was actually in February, and you remember how that game went on, and they needed to have a response. And I remember that Merseyside derby, Arne Slot was sent off, this assistant was sent off, Curtis Jones was sent off, and now they got a chance and opportunity to rewrite their mistakes, to actually do better and actually find themselves back in the game. So that's what we're going to be here to talk about. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of the performance? And of course, there are some controversial decisions that happened in this game, which we will visit and we'll talk about it. So I want to hear from you guys. Where are you watching us from? And what did you think of today's game? And who really impressed you today in the Merseyside derby? Let's get into the video. So a lot of things happened today, of course. The McAllister's injury scare that he almost suffered, the red card not shown, of course, the Beto offside goal, Beto's Jews fight against in terms of demanding fight against Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate, and the referee against Diogo Jota, because it felt like there was a way he was being singled out, and also Jota's goal, and as well as I think that gives an entire analysis of the game. So first of all, Liverpool in the running, they just have to get the job done. They've already played, they've already lost so many things, and they've already suffered so many defeats. This is the time and the opportunity just to get the job done. They just have to win their games. Don't care what is happening on the other side. Don't really care how other teams are performing. They just have to get the job done. If they win the next 4 games, even 5 games if we say it, because 9 games are left, if they win they're already title winners. This is the only trophy that is left in. They're not focusing on anything else. This is the only thing, their bread and butter. They just have to get the job done, and I think that is really important, especially with the way the season has gone on, like the way it has been challenging, how it has turned, it has Z left and right, where we have seen some of the best and some of the peak Liverpool and some of the worst as well in terms of the performance wise, coming out from those 2 defeats, as we firstly in the Champions League against PSG, which took them out of the Champions League, as well in the Carabao Cup, which they lost and could not actually win the second trophy of the season. It was important to see a response, and I think the first half is a perfect example of a team that was looking for inspiration. This team was just in there, Everton had already shown so much on the opposition side of the ball in terms of causing chaos to Liverpool than what Liverpool did, yet Liverpool had the whole ball. And this is the thing that really confuses me. How can you have control of the game and yet you're not able to use the ball that you have in your legs? I think it was only when we started seeing Gravenberg trying to hit the ball from outside trying to actually cause chaos, trying to actually help the team, because it was so dull in terms of how the game was going. They just looked like they were not in the game. It took time for them to actually give something for anyone to actually smile about, to give the team something to actually say, okay, they're starting to play football. It really took so much time, but when they got the jinx of it, when they got into the game, they caused Everton so much problems that Everton did not know how to deal with them. At some point, Pickford had to be the workaholic. At some point, some last-minute headers by Tarkowski was not supposed to be on the pitch, as well by Braithwaite, helped the team in terms of continuing with how the game was going on. Special shout-outs to go to Curtis Jones playing at the right back, and yet being very, very influential in terms of the movement of the ball, helping that right side to be a thorn, because it was easy now for Mo Salah to be stopped, but with Curtis Jones and Gravenberg as well at the behind, being just nearby, doing the good passes, and Dominic Szoboszlai, it was a problem. And The fact that these guys are willing to run for each other whenever they lose the ball. Ibrahima Konate, of course, they had that problem with Beto the whole entire game. I'm telling you, it was crazy. We'll talk about that as we move with the game. But let's talk about one of the most controversial moments, the McAllister tackle that he suffered in the hands of Tarkowski. Tarkowski does clear the ball, but his follow through went on and took out McAllister's leg. And I'm like, okay, surely I'm not really professionally, I'm not really professional in terms of understanding what happens, what you think of the decision making, what I think and how I look at this thing. But in my head, I was like, that has to be a red card, because the way that looked like a leg breaker, he did not look like he was interested in the ball. Really, in fact, he wanted to hurt the team. Look at his face, look at everything. I was surprised that VAR looked at that and they just walked over. That doesn't make sense. Especially, we are living in a controversial world where we have seen some silly tackles, some silly and soft tackles getting red cards. For example, we can talk about the Lewis Kelly red card he got from the game against Wolves. We can also talk about some of the red cards that we've seen, especially Liverpool, Diogo Jota, Curtis Jones against Tottenham Hotspurs. And yet we watch a leg breaker, a player who actually, if it wasn't because he had moved and the shoe went on the soft meat of the leg, McAllister would have been out, because that would have broken his bone. And the fact that he was not using that leg to actually put so much pressure, his leg was actually up in the air, so it helped him to not get seriously injured. And the fact that we talk about all of these things, and yet at the end of the day, the red card was not given. This was only a yellow. You wonder what exactly is the VAR doing. This is the thing. Liverpool won the game, and because they won the game, I'm sure the problem will not be talked about that much, but somebody almost lost the leg in the middle of the pitch. And this was 11 minutes in the game, and yet this guy went on to play the whole entire game like nothing even happened. Those are the problems we are dealing with, and I feel like they need to be really, really looked at really by the VAR and by the systems, because it doesn't help when you find that you say you're using a technology which is going to make your job easier, and yet every moment you get, you make sure that your job is already as difficult as you cry that it is, and you want to be the center of attention in matches. This is what I felt. And I cannot even blame the referee, because that happened so fast. I might say he did not see it. But what is the guy in the VAR room doing? What is he doing? What exactly is he watching? What is he watching? Does he have another TV show where he's watching Love Island and is not focusing on actually what's happening in the game? Because these are the moments, these are the situations where you need the referees to step up and show that they are honoring the authority. They are showing that they have something to offer. And yet we did not see it. That is a leg break. And that guy should be sent off. But did not happen. Also, the other incident we need to talk about is the goal which was scored by Diogo Jota. By the way, an amazing goal by him. Should have been offside in terms of Diaz, where he was standing, because remember, Gravenberch was actually targeting to give Diaz, who was on an offside position. But Tarkowski, who was not supposed to be on the pitch, and I'm going to keep saying that because I think that will give a better analysis for that, moved and pushed the ball back. It went straight in Diogo Jota's legs, and Diogo Jota did the rest. An amazing solo goal, moved it properly. And the one thing about Diogo Jota, and I need to talk about this, is one player who can be one of the best. He can offer you something that you hold on to and you say that this is the guy, and yet he can disappear when you need him. And it always frustrates me. The injuries have let this guy down. His Liverpool career has not really lived up to expectations or to what we wanted to see from him because of the injuries he's been getting. This is a guy who knows, who understands football, who plays well, who knows how to cause chaos, movements, passes, how to actually be lethal when face to face with the goal. But I can tell you, since he's been back in 11 games he's played, this is his first goal. And in all the other players who could be rated for not scoring and whatever, you can see he's always had more time to actually play. I'm just hoping that really changes. I'm just hoping that if he's going to stay with the team, that changes, because we need him to finish those chances. We need him to give us something to smile about as the fans. We want to be happy about what our team is doing, and we don't really get to get those opportunities a lot when it comes to Diogo Jota. Another guy that I want to talk about was Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz was just on fire the whole game. Did so much well to find himself on this one-on-one opportunity to cause chaos, trying to beat a man, trying to cause problem. But sometimes I felt like he was overdoing it, losing the ball easily. Sometimes he moves wrong and the passes and it's going on the other side. Something is just missing with the Liverpool strike force. It feels like that connection that we're used to. If it wasn't for that individual goal from Diogo Jota, I don't see any goal coming from anywhere. But something has to change, and I think maybe that's what they're going to be working on in the transfer window. If you notice, I've not really come in. I'm just giving you, especially if you're watching on the Connect Facebook, I'm just giving you some of the rumors that we're getting of Liverpool, but I'm not giving you my thoughts on the signings. I just want to see who they bring in, and we'll start do the analysis after we see the players, because I think it's really important to have an idea, to have a direction of what the team is trying to build. And I think we have to see what happens as the season goes on. But in terms of getting the job done, the first assignment of the 9 games which were left now turns 8. It's important. Virgil van Dijk said something a few weeks back. He said that let's make sure that the 7 games, which are now, I think there are 6 games that are left of the entire season, should be so difficult for any team that comes at home. And I think it's really important to help the team and to actually be able to move forward. During the weekend, there are going to be games. I need to see my team continue with the performance, continue to do well. And that, of course, this game was not about how good we can play. It's a Merseyside derby. We know Everton love a draw for them at Anfield. It's one of the best wins that they will ever see. And we just have to continue doing that. And we did well to getting the job done. And I actually feel sorry for this Everton account which came out and it was making fun of Diogo Jota in training and stuff like that. And yet he's the guy who actually destroyed them. It's funny how life actually goes on like. But at the end of the day, this was a good game. In terms of Everton, I was happy to see the player that got injured in the last game that we played against them coming back. I think it's called Ndie. I think he came in the game, he played. He of course is still trying to find his rhythm and come back in the game, but good to see what they are doing and the players coming to the game, to come into the picture. I'm really impressed by Idrissa Gueye. I think he has been one of the most pivotal key player for Everton. Before today's game, they had played 9 games unbeaten. They just lost today. It's because of the work ethic of this team, Tarkowski included as well, Pickford doing what it does from the back, Brett White. This is a team that is really good. And Moyes has just found something that is special that he can work with, that he can do well so that they actually produce what he wants at the end of the day. So, of course, I'll be doing what the hell happened in week 30 of the Premier League. I'm just going to give you an assessment of all the games which has been played, including yesterday's games. I was not able to do a review of those games because I've been having some personal problems. I'll tell you maybe during the week, but not now. It's still a bit of a sore thing, but anyway, we'll talk about it. So, Wolves beat West Ham by 1-0. Arsenal beat Fulham by 2-1. Saka comes back from an injury, scores a goal. What a player. Now it's 10-10, 20 goal in terms of involvement in the Premier League, 10 assists as well as 10 goals. That is so much good. Nottingham Forest beat United by 1-0. I'm going to have to watch this game because I was not able to watch and see what happened. Southampton drew with Crystal Palace in a game that Southampton almost won, but Crystal Palace scored in the last minute. And Ipswich beat Bournemouth today by winning by 2-1. Bournemouth are having problems. We saw it against the City and it seems like it's continuing. Brighton were walloped and destroyed by Marcus Rashford as well, and Aston Villa finished 3-0. Rashford scored a goal again, and Newcastle beat Brentford by 2-1. Man City beat Leicester City by 2-0. Liverpool beat Everton by 1-0, and one game is left if you're looking at the calendar, and there's the big one: Chelsea versus Tottenham. It's the London Derby, and I cannot wait to see what happens. Like the vid, subscribe to Connect. We'll see you another. We're out. Peace. Subscribe to the Connect. And if you're watching on Facebook, go subscribe to the Connect. Come on, people.